We're back on NFL Live, and Mac Jones, as you see, the 1998 draft, that was Peyton Manning where he was drafted. You see about here outside Lucas Oil Stadium. You can see the recent mock draft of Mel Kiper. Mac Jones threw 10 touchdowns, 12 interceptions last season, the worst ratio in the NFL. He was benched for the final 6 games of the season. So the Patriots finished with a 4-13 record, resulting in the 3rd pick in the draft. You see Mel Kiper Jr. has them taking North Carolina quarterback Drake May. Adam, what's the latest that you're hearing about the Patriots' plans at number 3?
I think the people around the league believe this is the Patriots' opportunity to go get one of those 3 top-rated quarterbacks in this draft. I also think there's the possibility that if and when Kirk Cousins signs and there's a team that's left out that doesn't get a quarterback it wants, there's always the possibility that New England could listen to the offers for the 3rd pick in the draft, that somebody else might put together a package to try to come up to number 3. But either way, I think you're looking at a quarterback being in play at 3, whether it's for New England or a team that's targeting that pick and trying to come up in the draft to go up to that spot.
There's so many interesting spots, 1, 2, but 3 is so fascinating in and of itself. As they embark on their first offseason in the post-Bill Belichick era, the Patriots are looking to snap out of a dismal stretch drafting in recent years. And this is instructive when you look at how it's gone for them. Over the last 10 years, the Patriots have drafted 18 players in the 1st or 2nd round. Ooh. Of those 18 players, only 1 made the Pro Bowl, which was Mac Jones in his rookie season. None of them have received a 2nd contract from the Patriots. It's almost shocking. Here's what Director of Scouting Elliott Wolf had to say about New England's draft plans moving forward.
It's going to be a collaborative effort. Coach Mayo, myself, Matt Groh, the whole staff. At the end of the day, somebody has to make that pick, and that'll be myself. But I think it's about talking to the right people and asking the right questions, and when we meet with them, asking the right questions. And that may be here in a formal interview, that may be at a later date at the pro day or wherever that may be. But we have to determine who can handle being the quarterback of the New England Patriots.
I don't know, the more I think about this, the more pressure I think about is on the Patriots. Mina, you think going quarterback is the right play for them at number 3 overall?
I do. I think there will be temptation to trade down, especially if a haul is on the table. Given the Patriots' needs, wide receiver, offensive tackle do align so well with this draft. But I also think you can't count on the chance that you're going to be in this type of position again to get one of these 3 quarterbacks. And let's just talk about May and Daniels, assuming Williams goes 1, which may be a wrong assumption. When I think about Mac Jones as a prospect, both of these players, to me, are superior prospects to what Mac was when they drafted him. And look, they did not do right by that player. I completely agree with Lewis there. But in terms of the arm talent, the athleticism, the upside, you just have such an incredible opportunity now to upgrade at the position.
Yeah, I understand. I totally agree with that. I think if you just evaluated the individual players in this draft, those top 3, you would probably say, look, in just a generic draft, you would put Mac behind all 3 of them.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part for me is, I cannot ever get away from some of the things that Mac was subjected to that just have had untold, effects on him. Like what he went through 2 years ago after having been subjected to Josh McDaniels and going to the Pro Bowl that year. I mean, that's just... You just don't see that kind of thing happen to a player. You don't see guys get subjected to that kind of thing and then have them have positive outcomes for it. And I hope he's another one of those guys, along with Justin Fields, that's able to find a home at a place that will do right by him, set him up with a great structure, so then he can recapture some of the things he showed as a rookie and when he was at Alabama, because he was a very productive quarterback, and I think he can be again.
I think all 3 of these quarterbacks are absolutely, unquestionably worthy of a top 3 selection in this draft. So there's no pressure in the Patriots in the sense that I just take whichever one falls to be at number 3. But beyond this, some of this is an asset management decision from the Patriots. Mina referenced the idea that you get a haul, but when are you going to be back in this spot to land a quarterback this good? It goes both ways. The Carolina Panthers made a massive trade-up last year, not thinking they would be picking 1st overall this year. They thought they'd be sending Chicago pick 20 this year or something like that. Right. Meanwhile, when the Houston Texans made a pick from 12 to 3, and they gave the Arizona Cardinals their own pick and not the Cleveland Browns pick that they owe this year, we all said, oh my God, Houston paid the price of their own pick in 2024, which could be a top 5 pick to Arizona. Instead, it's 27. later than Cleveland. So the Patriots have the opportunity cost that is in front of them of bypassing a quarterback and maybe getting 3 additional picks. But who knows? Maybe they're back to 10th or 12th next year in the draft order, which would not represent a massive leap forward, but enough of a leap that you're not going to have the opportunity to draft a player of this caliber. And again, I go back to these 3 guys. I don't care which one it is. I think they're all worth it. And the initiative that Elliott Wolf in this scouting class must take is to simply surround this quarterback with every possible advantage that you can get, which includes wide receivers beyond the first round. Because I'm telling you, this wide receiver class is deep enough that if you have the pick 35 and you want to go wide receiver and nothing else, there are lots of options there.
Yeah, it's a good point. And I like what you said, too, about just the top 3 quarterbacks being so rare in this class. You just never know who might come around again, and you would always hate that you missed out on it. Yeah. Let's say, though, Lewis, they decide to listen to some teams that want to trade up. They decide to trade back. Who are some teams that should say, let's try to get up there to that number 3 pick and make a deal with the Patriots?
I think, look, it's reasonable that you could consider Atlanta being in striking distance. Now, the question is, what does Atlanta do in free agency? Are they able to strike a deal for a guy like Justin Fields? Does it make sense to them the same way it makes sense to us? If the longer it goes that this team does not make a move for a quarterback in free agency, the more likely you should probably buckle in and say, first night of the draft or leading up to the draft, they're going to be circulating as far as rumors about trying to move up into one of those spots. Because what did Raheem say? He said, had we had a quarterback, I may not even be here. That was part of the problem last year, why I'm here now. And so what do you think that means? It means they're in play for a quarterback some way, somehow.
There's this point in the draft, 11, 12, 13, where you got Minnesota, Denver, Las Vegas, and it's just such an intriguing cluster, not just because any of those teams could trade up, but because one of those teams would probably have to leapfrog Minnesota if they want to get either pick 3 or the first of the second tier of quarterbacks. I have no idea how that's going to shake out. I feel like we have to wait to see what happens with Kirk Cousins first.